What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Glory Boys podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Darren, one of your hosts.
And I'm Austin, your other host.
And we are so glad that you're here.
That's right. Today we're talking about how to balance work life and family life.
Ooh.
It's a good one. So get ready, buckle in, and let's hit that intro. So let's just talk about it.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I don't know if we should.
What?
Our listeners are not ready.
Yeah. So we've been talking about Pokemon a little bit.
Yeah?
Not a lot, though, but a little bit.
A little lot.
And it's kind of been fun.
So there's a Pokemon pandemic.
Yes. Yeah, I actually saw a meme that I showed you, and it was like March of 2020. Everyone was looking for toilet paper, and Walmart had no toilet paper. In March of 2021, everyone's looking for Pokemon cards, and Walmart has no Pokemon cards.
It's true.
So it's like, COVID 2.0.
Yeah, so to catch kind of you guys up here a little bit, Pokemon has never died out. It's always been running strong.
Yep.
It has a huge fan base. Austin and I included. We love Pokemon. Played all the games as a kid, had a lot of cards as kids, and just recently they had their 25th anniversary, and there has been this awesome amount of hype around opening packs and recording it on TikTok and on YouTube, and then pulling really cool cards and then posting about that. And it's just kind of been fun. Also, new Pokemon decks have been released, and so that was a part of it. And then McDonald's did their whole Pokemon thing, which kind of created some hype. So just with all of that, and then there's people like Logan Paul that did some live openings. He's not the only one that does it. There's tons of people on the internet that have been opening packs for years, that have tons of following and do a great job. But Logan Paul has a significant amount of influence, and because he did some pack openings of first editions on a live stream, it just kind of went crazy. So yeah, long story short, you cannot find Pokemon cards really at any Target or Walmart. And if you want them, you have to stand in line for multiple hours.
Yep. And the reason for that is mostly not even people that want to just open cards, I feel like. I mean, obviously the demand is there for people that want to actually open the cards. But the people that are buying out everything in Walmart are doing it just so they can flip it online for 3 times the price.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. However, it honestly, to me, has made the whole process more fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like treasure hunting.
It's a hunt,
trying to find Pokemon cards. And like when we first started talking about this, we're all excited about first editions. Everybody's excited about first edition Charizard going for $350,000 to $500,000 right now, which is absolutely insane.
Insane.
But of course, you have to work your way to that level. And so we, have been learning a lot about the new decks of Pokemon because we've been out of it for a while.
Yeah.
And so learning about the new cards that are really cool, how you can kind of work your way back into getting some older vintage collections.
Right.
And so we're keeping our eyes out, doing some garage sailing, trying to find some vintage collections because there is some gold to be found. Yeah. But also we've just been, hitting up stores, trying to make connections with the managers that stock the shelves.
Being homies with all the guys.
It's what you have to do. And
restock.
It's literally at the point where these people are putting trackers on the stocking person, on the vendor's car.
Yeah. We went to a Target like at 9 p.m. Me and a buddy, you had gone there earlier that day. And the lady was like, man, this whole Pokemon thing's crazy. And it's been so crazy that the cops came, and I was like, really? Why? Did someone get in a fight? Because I've heard of people getting in fights too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she said that it's gotten so bad that this group of men that were waiting for the vendor to show up, they knew that she was already there because they had attached a device of some sort, or GPS tracker on her car, and knew what stores she was going to be at. And they would follow her from Target to Walmart. And so Pokemon cards are distributed from an outside vendor. Yeah. So whoever that may be is whatever, but it's really crazy that it's gone to that level of, I don't know.
Insanity.
Insanity.
It literally is insanity.
Yeah.
And now stores have started doing a limit 1 or limit 3 per customer, which I think is great because you can walk into Target now and maybe find a couple packs. There's certain things you still cannot find.
Yeah.
Because people are buying them out as soon as they get there. But yeah, it's a really interesting time to be in right now.
Yeah, it's expensive too because Pokemon cards are normal price, like $3-4 a pack. You can handle that. Right. But when you can't find those packs at all anywhere, and then you go on like Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and things are tripled in price, it's just like, man, it takes the fun out of it. It's kind of like the whole shoe culture. Right. I mean, like a new Nike, Jordan 1 colorway drops and I'm like, yo, this is cool. I want to get this. It's $170. That's, reasonable. I can save up and buy that. Cool. But then it drops that day, and unless you have a ticket number, or unless you're in like a virtual line, unless you have been waiting for weeks in line or whatever, you really aren't going to see it. And if you are, you're going to have to buy it off StockX for quadruple the price. And at that point, it just takes away all the fun. So it's that culture has really transferred on to Pokemon in this season, and you can actually buy Pokemon cards on StockX, which is really bizarre because it's like a high-end street fashion wear type platform, but you also can buy Pokemon cards.
People are faking them too, so you almost have to, unless you're getting it from Walmart, you almost have to go through a platform like StockX because they have the verification that you're getting an authentic product, because people are literally printing fake Pokemon cards trying to make money.
Like that toy store we went to the other day here in Omaha. We asked them if they had any Pokemon cards, and she said that they had to switch vendors because they had been selling fakes the entire year.
It's nuts.
Well, they had no idea. The vendor brought them in. They don't know anything about Pokemon cards. They're a toy store. They just sell toys. And so there was a customer that came in and complained, and they obviously refunded him and took care of that. But they're now in transition of finding a legitimate licensed vendor instead of just some homeboy just printing off hollow Charizards for everyone. So
seriously. So yeah, that's been it's been fun, honestly. Even though it was really discouraging at first, the first few places that we went to, but as we've kind of built connections, we have grouped up with some other people to try to keep an eye on different areas of town, and like made homies with some people at stores. And that's really what it takes.
We got Steven. We got Steven at Dollar Tree.
We got Hector at Dollar Tree.
Yeah, we got Jason down at the comic book store. Yeah, we know we got our ins now, so we're just having fun with it. Again, we won't buy stuff that's overpriced or resold. We're going to keep hustling, and just, again, part of the fun is the treasure hunt. And the reward is finding normal priced Pokemon cards. So
like last night you were at Walmart and you found some pretty sweet stuff. So yeah, we've been able to kind of stockpile quite a few packs of cards. We're actually starting a segment on our YouTube channel where we open packs of Pokemon cards. So if you like Pokemon cards, or if you want to hang out with us, head over to our YouTube channel if you're not here already. And subscribe, hit the bell for more videos to get notified when we drop those Pokemon videos. So.
So this Friday, every Friday, we'll be dropping some of those Pokemon card openings. They're a lot of fun. We're having fun with it, so check it out. For sure.
And that kind of ties in with today's topic. How to balance work life, family life, and just to preface this conversation, I'm married. I have a 3-month-old daughter. Darren's married. He has a wife and a dog. And so we're going to come at you from a point of view of work-family balance. Some of you out there, you may be 22 and single building a business, and that may look totally different for you. I know my work-life balance was different, and a lot of people, it changes. When you get married, when you get engaged, your work-life balance has to change. So we'll be talking out of a place of we're married, we have wives to take care of and make sure that they feel loved. And so how do you balance that as you grow a fledgling business just starting out? And we weren't super great at it early on.
No, we were really bad. There's a grind that comes with starting a company. So there was a lot of grace given by our wives. And just understanding that, okay, you're starting something, you got to hustle. We were meeting a lot of people, we were having a lot of meetings, we were creating a lot of content, building our website, building our social media platforms, taking promotional video and photo content to outfit our websites and all of that. So there's a little bit of a grind and a grit to starting, but it came to an unhealthy place where that's all we really did.
Yep.
We would work until like 11 p.m. And this is really early on, but we would work until super late at night and then come right back in the morning early and put in 80 to 100 hours sometimes, shooting, editing, building. And it just became super hard on our lives and our marriages and all of that.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that we'll kind of walk you through, a few points that we want to hit on of ways that we were able to really build that balance into our life. But yeah, exactly what you said early on. And early on, there may be a time and place for your balance to be shifted in majority of putting time into your business.
Right.
Starting a business, it's not something that you can probably do in the comfortable hours that you're currently working your job. You're probably going to have to sacrifice.
Right.
And so if you are married or engaged, my recommendation and advice would be just get on the same page before as early as possible. Make sure you understand each other's expectations and that, hey, this is a temporary time.
Yeah.
This is not the goal for a permanent schedule, but this is what I have to do right now.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? How can I still meet your needs? How can I still make sure to spend quality time with you?
Yep.
And you just have to be super intentional.
Yep.
If I could go back and talk to us during that time, I would just say like, we probably could have made it into a healthy place with our schedule if we had just been more disciplined with the time that we did have.
Totally.
And so everybody has the same 24 hours in the day and you are able to build rest into that time.
Yep.
So that was, it reached an unhealthy place for sure.
Yeah.
Where we were working 7 days a week, 80 to 100 hours a week. Our wives, were not super pumped about it. I remember we had a conversation with our pastor, Pastor Adam, our creative pastor, at one point, and he was like, I think you guys should seriously consider taking Fridays off because we were in the heat of wedding season, had a wedding every Saturday. That's your whole day Saturday. Then we're doing, I think we were doing 3 services at the time on Sundays. So we had all day Sunday.
Yeah.
So your weekends are gone. We're working Monday through Friday and it was rough. So what did we do? I guess what was the first step to finding that balance?
I guess we could talk about rest. That being our first thing that we really needed to do was taking that Friday off, taking that time, that intentional time away from work so that our brains could just clear out and we could have intentional time with our wives and start, doing things around the house or keeping up on laundry or mowing the lawn, little things that just start to compile and they really just put a damper on your marriage, on your home life. And so then home becomes less of a place of solitude, but more of a place of like, I have so many projects around the house. We're both homeowners, so we have to, paint things and fix things and take care of our yards. And so, if you don't build in that time to take care of some of that stuff, and not only that, but also building in time of rest to just spend time maybe, and rest looks different for everyone. So rest may be, for me, I like going to a thrift store and looking for things and just having fun. It's very therapeutic for my mind, for my soul, just because it's mindless for me. Some people like to just watch The Office, which is great. I think there's different types of rest and different seasons for different types of rest. My wife and I like to go on walks. Like there's just little things that could really be refreshing to your soul and to your brain, if you create that space and time.
I want to highlight something you said. That was so good. We live in a culture that is hustle, grind, the American dream.
Right.
And I quote Gary Vee all the time. I think he's great. And again, he would be the first to tell you that his work-life balance looks different than most people's.
Right.
But we live in this culture of hustle. And I remember early on, there were times where I would feel guilty for wanting to take a day off because I got to get stuff done. There's so much to do. There's always so much to do. And so it's so easy to get in that mindset of just stress and anxiety. And honestly, when we had that conversation with Pastor Adam, he said something that was really challenging. He said, I bet you that you could get more done in those 4 days than you're getting done in 5 right now.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely been true because when you take that day to rest and recharge, I mean, if you're running on empty, your efficiency is not 100%. So you're literally hurting yourself by putting in more hours.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of weird. It's counterintuitive. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but if you can't take that time to rest, you're going to be running on empty. And so it's super important to recharge. And it does look different for everybody. I remember, hearing a message a while back about rest and taking intentional rest. And so you have to figure out what fills you. During the week, you're pouring out, you're depleting, you're giving, working, grinding. You have to fill yourself back up, because if you're only giving out of a place of exhaustion, you can't be what you're supposed to be. So it's super important that you take that rest, and that looks different. You need to figure out what works for you. Like you said, going thrift shopping, going on walks with your wife. Yeah. For me, it's different. Like I do like watching The Office, but it's not necessarily rest. So there's a difference between numbing out and doing something that will recharge you. Totally. Now for some people, watching The Office actually does recharge you. Yeah. So you just have to figure out what that is for you. Yeah. So now let's talk about marriage specific. What do we do to foster a healthy marriage? What do we do to take care of our wives? Make sure that we get the quality time with them that we need. Yep.
So a big goal of ours is to never give out of give the rest to our wives, like
the leftovers.
Coming home. All right, babe, let's hang out. Let's, let's go out to dinner. And that's kind of where it was at the very beginning a few years ago. And so we really shifted that by implementing a date night. Again, this is for our perspective, being married, trying to be great husbands and keeping our families healthy. And date night is everything for that. It
10 out of 10 importance.
10 out of 10. It gives your wife something to look forward to. It gives you something to look forward to. On those date nights, my wife and I will go over a series of questions and just ask and be intentional about, like, how are we doing? How can I serve you this week? How can, I love you better? What's one thing that I'm doing well, and what's one thing that I could work on? All that kind of conversation just really sets you up for a healthy week and better understanding. Communication is key. And so if you're communicating with your wife, it's going to make everything better. Yep. And date nights are fun. They're supposed to be fun. They're not just business and just talking over questions, but they're also, you're supposed to go laugh and go enjoy and remember why you love each other. And that stuff, having a date night every week, it's immovable. It's there. It's important. It will be the milestones that's going to keep you going in a healthy direction in your marriage for years to come.
So what happens if something comes up? Somebody wants to schedule a meeting. Somebody wants to schedule a shoot on date night.
No.
All right.
It took us
topic next.
It took us a long time to understand that, but I'm approaching 3 years of marriage. You're approaching 5. Mm-hmm. So, we're getting better at it all the time. And date night is above all and everything. My wife will get my time first in the week. It's scheduled above anything, any meeting, any client meeting, anything with the guys. It's number one.
Yeah, I love what you said about being intentional. I think that's super key with not only your date night, but your day of rest, being intentional. Don't let those days slip by you, because they will so easily. Yep. And if you maximize those days, it will make a massive difference in your business as well. Yeah.
Before we go any further, this is a perfect spot to hit our chug-a-lug break.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And in this week's episode, we are talking about a good friend of ours, Hunter. Yep. He has a company called Big Red Hunters. So, hey, he's right there in the name. But Big Red Hunters is a great company located in Nebraska. Started to educate and share the love for hunting in good old Nebraska. Big Red Hunters stands to educate, mentor, and provide resources for new hunters for the next generation. So really equipping people, keeping the sport alive. Yep. I know he does guided tours. So, if you're listening to this episode and you're like, man, I need a hobby, I need something to do with my life, hey, go check out Big Red Hunters. Yeah. Book a guided tour. You can follow them on Instagram at Big Red Hunters, or go to their website at bigredhunters.com.
Yes. Let's do this thing.
Let's drink some water. Cheers.
Oh man, that was That was a lot. I beat you again.
I think I'm getting worse.
All right.
Oh, I feel so great right now. Whew, my eyes are watering.
Man, we did it. I definitely won, though.
You crushed me on that one.
All right. Well, diving into our third and final point, joy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to hold all the water down. That's kind of why we talked about Pokemon on this episode, because that's been a massive source of joy for me, at least.
It's been exciting. I was at a card antique, I was at an antique shop, met a guy restocking his cards, and we were just sitting there talking about how it's so beautiful, the power of nostalgia when you see something from your childhood, like what that does for you. I really do think it's really powerful. And so for us, like kind of diving back into enjoying Pokemon and collecting has been a lot of fun, because it's brought out really fun memories of our childhood, and it's something that we're doing together, and it's a blast.
Yeah. So I think it's super important to find, again, what is that for you? Is it going hunting, getting out in nature at 6 a.m. and sitting there waiting for pheasants?
Earlier than that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hunting. So sorry, Hunter. Don't get mad at me. But you need to find a hobby, whether that's playing video games, whether that's opening Pokemon cards. Like, find something that brings you joy.
Yeah.
Now, disclaimer on that, you should be intentional with that also.
Yeah.
So, I'm the person that if I could play video games all day, every day, I would. And you know this.
Yeah. It's true.
Because I used to, and I still absolutely would. If I had no responsibilities, that's what I'd be doing right now. So you have to be self-aware enough to realize that it can't be something that you do every night. You can't just numb out, but you need to be intentional with that, on a weekly basis, or whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
Find something that brings you joy. So what outside of Pokemon, we kind of share that.
Yep.
So what are some things maybe that you and your wife do that you find joy?
Yeah. Something that my wife and I love doing is going to stores and finding, really good brands for a really discounted price. So like some of our favorite stores is like Nordstrom Rack. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that treasure hunting type. Similar to going to a thrift store, similar to going to garage sales, but going into Nordstrom Rack and finding that really cool piece that was maybe put out by this great designer a few years ago, and it's heavily discounted because it's older. It's just fun. Yeah. And so my wife and I do that. Sometimes date nights, we find ourselves, at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, just to browse the shelves and go find something fun. It's a blast, and finding something when you do find that diamond in the rough, it's like exhilarating. It's super fun. Just like when you and I like walk into a Walmart and we finally found a pack of cards to open. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. It's super important. It's healthy to have joy, to bring some childlike excitement into your life.
For sure. Yeah. One thing that you guys do a really good job of too is travel.
Yeah. That's huge.
You guys travel consistently. It's not, it's not always an extravagant vacation, but a weekend trip to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Heading to Florida for a few days. Yeah. And that's one thing. Callie and I aren't super great at that. We want to get better at it.
Yeah.
But that's something that I've watched you guys set a great example of, is taking time on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Not splurging or being irresponsible, but taking that intentional time to get away together, to rest, recharge. And you've always came back from those trips more passionate, more ready to go.
Yeah.
And so all of this with rest, it feels so counterintuitive. And for a long time, I was really challenged with it, because we're taught in American culture that you just have to work 24/7 to get what you want.
Yeah.
And while you do have to put in hard work, rest, in my opinion, is equally important, unless you're a superhuman like Gary Vee, who can run off 4 hours of sleep and somehow work 20 hours a day consistently.
He's crazy.
But I mean, he is doing what he loves doing, and he must find ways to recharge himself.
Yeah.
Having rest for Callie and I, playing Fortnite is a great way for us to just have fun. Even though sometimes I get mad at her because she'll leave me and go off and do her own thing, and then I'll die. But no, we love to play video games. Honestly, this whole Pokemon thing is kind of, we've had some fun looking at different places. We went back to our hometown last weekend, and we weren't super pumped about going back or being in the car with our 3-month-old that doesn't like car rides.
Yeah.
But we made it fun by stopping at every Dollar General and Walmart between Omaha and Norfolk and looking for Pokemon cards. So I think that this will just be the start of a new hobby for us of doing similar to you and Mariah, going to yard sales and just looking for stuff together. I think is super fun. So just to quickly recap, if you are married, our advice is take a day of rest once a week. Be really intentional with that rest. Have a date night that's unmovable. If you're not getting together, connecting on a deeper level once a week, it's only a matter of time before it's going to explode. And so be proactive with that. And lastly, develop some hobbies. If you're married, find some hobbies that you can do together. There's nothing wrong with having personal hobbies. I have hobbies that Callie doesn't like. Callie has hobbies that I don't like.
Totally.
But having something that you can do together is really, really important.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I really think that's it. Find some hobbies. Bring some joy into your life. Have fun with your wife. Have fun if you're single. But be intentional with your time regardless.
Absolutely.
So we hope this episode added some value to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like if you're on YouTube, if you're on our podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave a rating. We thoroughly enjoy reading the amazing ratings that you guys have written. It's been so much fun. We are at 5 stars still, which is a good thing. And then if you're on YouTube, just hit the bell for notifications every time we drop a new podcast every single Wednesday. And then we do Content Fridays also. So thank you guys so much for listening. We're thankful that you're here. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.